Hi, welcome to a special edition of You Gotta Have Art. We are here on location at the Adams County Arts Council's Arts Education Center. I'm joined by Lisa Cordiano, our Executive Director, and Jack Handshaw, who is our featured artist here in the gallery during the month of September. I'm Wendy, Heiges, Gallery Director of the Arts Council. We're thrilled to be talking to Jack today about his lifelong love of the arts and his educational background, his teaching, and maybe some stories he'll be sharing with us, and just all about his art. Welcome, Jack.
Thank you.
Hi, Jack.
Good morning, everyone.
It's so good to see you.
It's always good to be here. I love the Arts Council. I've loved it for 35 years.
Jack, one of my questions for you, I've known you for several years now. I think some of my kids may have taken a camp with you at some point. But in your retrospective as you're retiring is the first time I'm learning that you like to do watercolors as well. Can you tell us about just how you got interested in both pottery and watercolor and what your art journey looked like as a younger person?
Certainly. After I graduated high school, I went into the Army and I went into recreational services and was assigned at a recreation department in Fort Dix, New Jersey, where I taught and eventually was teaching pottery, but I also was taking classes in watercolor, photography, leather working. It had every craft that you could imagine. And I felt so at home, and I just kept growing, and I had lots of other places that I could go. Burlington Community College for sculpture, the Clay Studio in Philadelphia for pottery. And I have since, with my watercolors, I've been taking classes with several local artists and been a member of the art community for years. I've never shown my watercolors. This will be the first that I've had them.
Your debut.
Yes, this is my debut as an artist.
Let's go back to being the beginning. How long have you been a potter? When did you discover that this was a love of yours?
I started at an unusually young age in junior high school with Don Burkholder, who now teaches in Chambersburg, and Louise Etter was in my high school class teacher, and I just kept, I don't even know why I started pottery. I just loved it. I do have some genealogy about John Bell being in my family, but I guess it came out in me later on in life because I've just loved it, and I just like to share my talent with others.
You have a special place where you create your work. Tell us a little bit about Hobbit House.
Hobbit House was always a dream of mine when I was growing up, to find a place in the mountains to create my artwork and also be close to nature, because they're very both important to me, as well as being close to God. And Hobbit House is it. It's outside of Fairfield, up in the mountains, close to Strawberry Hill. This will be my 47th year there, making, teaching, and enjoying life there.
Why Hobbit House? Where did the name come from?
Well, when I was in the Army, I read the trilogy of The Hobbit, and I was fascinated that it was written by a grandfather to his grandson to eliminate the horrors of war and create a fantasy. And for me, I turned that into my medium, and I wanted to do that with clay and create an object that I could create, mass produce even, to create that illusion of fantasy that I've been doing over 50 years.
And we see that too. I have one of my very favorite coffee mugs has the little snail crawling up the side of the mug, and so you incorporate all kinds of nature and creatures in some of your work.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite?
Probably the hobbits. Yeah, it's my design, and the snails are fun. I love it all. It's an Art Nouveau takeoff. I always like that period of time, along with the Impressionists, which that's kind of my direction.
We started working with each other when the Arts Council was at the Imagination Station on Carlisle Street, and that was a time when you would combine lugging your wheel into the center as well as teaching on site. What are some of your favorite memories from that time?
I have so many. One in particular was a young man who, he just took a liking to me, and we have grown through the years. He's just got married, and he invited me to his wedding. So I've watched him grow from this big, putting his handprints on the wall, making pottery, to now a new young electrician, learning a new trade, but he always thinks of our times together at the...
Absolutely. These summer camp times are so impressionable for our children because it's a time that they can explore and create, and you have given back so much to the children who have taken your camps over the years. Tell me a little bit about the camps. What kind of camps did you teach?
I teach camps. I like to focus on making something out of nothing. So I do like to focus on recycling. So a lot of my objects that we made are made around recyclable containers, like paper towel holders, just things that people would throw away. And we use them to make forms and shapes and critters that I've been doing for 35 years. And the kids love it. I don't know who gets the most out of it.
I can see that when I have stopped by to visit the camp, you are all enjoying it. And you've had the pleasure of also mentoring some high school or college students as well.
Yes, yes, and I've had one come up to me at the exhibit, at the juried art exhibit at the college, Gettysburg College, came up to me one day. He said, "You probably don't remember me." And I said, "Why?" He says, "Well, you taught me when I was in high school." And he said, "I went on to Alfred, got my degree, and now I'm teaching pottery." And if that doesn't make you feel good as a teacher,
oh my goodness,
what does?
Right, that's amazing.
That is amazing. This was your last summer camp year, which is very bittersweet. Do you have a story to share?
Well, I have one story that just happened. I have hundreds of stories, but this one in particular was a young lady, and her sister was one of the interns helping 4 years ago, and she was working with us, and I entered her into trying to win an award for the Arts Awards at the end of the camps. Well, she didn't win, but she came up to me after the awards ceremony, and we were getting ready for our class, and she came in with a cookie. She said, "I baked this for you at my morning camp, and I wanted to thank you for nominating me." And I said, "Well, thank you. I think that's wonderful, but I think you're just trying to bribe me to stay another few years."
Did it work?
Well, what can I say? But after the class, she went outside and she was drawing and drawing and drawing, and I always do a demo for the parents and the children on the potter's wheel. And after the demo, she came up to me and gave me a handwritten, beautiful little card that said, "Happy Retirement."
That's so sweet. You should frame it.
I'm going to put you on the spot, which I've been doing all day, I guess. How did you meet Jack, and what was your early experiences with working with Jack?
So we met at the Imagination Station, and I have very strong memories of that time, both of remembering Jack just being so dedicated and literally lugging his potter's wheel into our single room art studio, as well as driving to the Hobbit House because my children took your pottery camp, and then Jake helped at one of your pottery camps. So we've sort of have done that full circle of enjoying and giving back. And throughout all that time, it's just been really fun to spend time with you, your approach. Tell me a little bit about your approach to teaching.
I like to take the approach that you've never touched clay before. I like to try to make it as pleasing and comfortable and easy as possible, even though it's not. I do a lot of prep work prior to the classes, so the student isn't standing there doing things that I do that is not fun, but I do it to make their...
Yeah, you do. You've always prepped.
Yeah, I always like to make their time there, as short as it may be, as enjoyable as possible.
So let's I think that segues to your own style of artistry, which is really, we're here to celebrate that as well. And I think that your approach to teaching really shows through in your artistry, both through your watercolors and your pottery, because there's a little bit of a playfulness to your work, and your watercolors both show, I think, a time and place, a mood, but there's also like a softness and an easiness to it, which is really beautiful to see. You have quite a few fans, and do you think they'll be surprised to see your watercolors? I
hope so. I'm on the wall now, so everybody's a critic, so we'll have to see.
I'm a fan and I'm surprised.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
And they're beautiful, I really love them.
Jack, you have used some of your adventuring as the scenes for your watercolors, is that right?
Yes, I'm an avid fly fisherman, and a lot of the places I go to, I can't paint because I normally have a fly rod in my hand. But when I do take the time, for me it's like I do mostly plein air, and it's like a capture of the moment, so I don't have a lot of time in between fishing and painting, but I try to make like a postcard of where I've been, and that's been from all over the world,
are a lot
or the country.
The scenes we're seeing Adams County, or it's all over the country, you said?
It's all
Where
over
are some
the
of
country.
the places that you've been?
Montana, Michigan, Virginia are some of my favorite places to go to. The Bahamas are also in there. I love to be on the water, and I seem to like to reflect, and I have time to be at peace at the water.
What will be some of your reveals for this show in September?
Well, I did photography, and actually I have some photography pieces that I brought. Then in the Army I won first place in the U.S. Army photo contest in 1977. So that's kind of an unusual aspect.
That is.
And I also was a writer through my entire life. So I brought some of my poetry along that I've written, and Aaron Brown has been kind enough to illustrate it. So
that's amazing.
It'll be fun to see the reactions of people seeing a side of me that they've never would have thought. My writings, a lot of them were done when I was hiking parts of the Appalachian Trail, the High Sierras in California, and pretty much hitchhiking around the country when I was young.
And what does this show, what is the time frame that it spans?
From 1974 till now.
Oh my goodness.
Have you ever read your poetry aloud?
No. Well, I do to myself,
To yourself, but not to other people.
No.
Okay, I'm just going to leave that where it is. But
Okay.
if you become inspired to do so at our first Friday, I would welcome the opportunity to hear you even read some of your poetry.
Okay, we could do that.
That would be very cool.
That would be amazing.
I have written my life autobiography too, which I haven't printed yet, but I do have it all typed out and it's ready to go, but I just have to decide when.
Yeah.
Only the names have been changed.
I think Annie Lamott says something about, she's a writer, who says, if people wanted me to write about them nicely, they should have behaved better. So you're allowed to say whatever you want in your own life story.
Well, I think I pretty much did, too. I lived life to the max. I would do it all over. Music has been a very big part of my life as well. I've seen many beautiful exhibits in the past of major artwork, and I think it's helped give me an understanding of art.
Definitely. Let's shift back, because I think something about the Arts Council has just always been in your heart, and you give back in many ways. Tell us a little bit how you feel about the Arts Council.
I think the Arts Council is so important for Adams County. It gives everyone a chance to express themselves in whatever medium they feel comfortable with. And if they're not comfortable with that medium, we try to make it comfortable for them. And I love the fact that it's an equality-oriented place, emphasis on empathy and education.
I love that.
I love that too.
And perhaps people don't know, but we do have scholarship opportunities for both young and old, so people who may be on a limited income absolutely can apply and enjoy a camp or class, which is pretty big deal. It's really, I think, changed some people's lives because it adds joy and structure to whatever they're doing and probably makes whatever else they're doing better. So.
One little story I have to share, that we used to do a after-school migrant classes for LIU and other groups. Well, this one group came, and they were all Mexican children, and the one couldn't speak any English at all. Well, he watched all the other children do all the potter's wheel, and he finally came and did his turn. Even though he couldn't speak any English, he watched, he learned, and he made a pot.
And if that doesn't say art's the universal language, I don't know what
does. Exactly.
Exactly. So do you feel that the arts is important to Adams Countyans?
Incredibly important. We live in such a beautiful area, and not to express yourself with what we have around us is a shame, because we've got a beautiful county full of beautiful people and wonderful, talented artists that are doing it right now. So enjoy it, and enjoy the Arts Council.
Yes, we are a very special place indeed. I feel like we should share a little bit about when your work will be up, because that's something that people don't want to miss. Your show will be in the gallery during the month of September, and we will be featuring a First Friday opening reception on Friday, September 5th from 5 to 7. It is sponsored
by Gettysburg Neighbors Magazine.
So that's fantastic. That just means we're going to have some live music. We'll have some special food. Jack, you're going to be preparing a few things.
Yes, I am one of my other jobs. I've always had other jobs through my entire pottery teaching career, but was at Kenny's Market, and I used to make vegetable trays and fruit trays. So I thought I'd just bring a couple of them along too.
That's wonderful.
It's one of my favorite things about First Fridays in general is that artists do like to bring in a signature food or cookie, and it's fun because it just personalizes their experience. So we'll be here First Friday, September 5th from 5 to 7, and then your show will be hanging in the gallery throughout the month of September. and it'll be featuring works that are on loan,
Yes, yes.
as well as some never seen before seen artworks and pottery. There'll be a little bit of everything, so it's something you don't want to miss.
Please come.
Thank you so much for being here, Jack. I can't wait to see all of your work on display, and we're all looking forward to your show in September, and so grateful for everything you've done for the Arts Council over the years.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Many, many thanks, and thanks for joining us.